Hello and welcome, as today is the 29th day of June 2019. My name is Derek and welcome to the Money Charts channel, where always all bets, trades, and of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. Take a look at Bitcoin, take a look at Litecoin. We'll talk about predictions. And these aren't really my predictions, I'm just copying other people's. We'll just see how they do. And a little bit of altcoins after that. Let's begin. Price action for Bitcoin in at 11,831 at this time. The time I'll be doing the video, 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. So price action on June 26th, 3 days ago, coming up to this peak of 13,800 and change. And a really large pullback a couple days ago, down 13.7%. Yesterday, the session hanging in there within the 18 average. Well, this is 3 straight days, as it's nicely supporting higher lowing with a higher low on the 18 average of highs. And to see more about what's going on here, I'm going to need to shorten it out, but leg higher, what do you do after that, basically? So move up, leg higher, sideways consolidation. Leg higher, and then this down move, this up move. And it took a while to consolidate. It had this failed breakout. But oftentimes from failed moves comes fast moves lower. This really didn't have that, so this is the unoften time, or one of the unoften times. And it did find support in here, but getting above here, there's a leg higher. So now what are we going to do with this? Well, we're only in the third day post the nice leg move to the upside. Obviously, whenever you do this, you're going to have established support and resistance. We've only got two areas of established resistance, tested one each time. The high of 13.8, and just yesterday we came in and we tested this 12.4 area. The high was in at 12,445. We've also established once, but twice within its short term, or a few times within the short term session, 10,380. We also once found support here at the 18 average of lows. So it's developing these key levels, and of course, this coincides with this level of support in here as well. But as it goes, you have your move that goes below the 18 average of lows, which is stage number 2 here in reversal of trend. Stage 1 was band flattening out, which occurred in really by period 3 to 4 of the red down days, basically by this one here, the 4 a.m. session on June 27th. Band flattening out. And then this is an established level of resistance. Now it has came back to the band. And that's where we stand right now. For as it gets to the 18 average of highs, what did the price action do? It came down right to where I always say I want it to go. The 18 average of lows and the area where it came back from. And that just happened like many times it does, and it should, based on its mathematics, be in the area of these key resistance. And it did support it. It's now came up to the 18 average of highs, and it's so far resisting it. So things are getting symmetrical. We have one higher low in here from this. We have a lower high from this. And right now it is lower highing, or a lower high so far from this previous one. Within the single hour term time frame, we had a reversal of trend, but not really much of one as it came down to this level in here. This level of resistance here breaking by this one. Now, many periods down from 8 p.m. down to 11 p.m. I missed that decent decline. I don't know how I missed that. I went to bed at like 11 o'clock too. Anyway, it was as it was. So from that decent decline from here to here, what has happened? Well, we've managed to consolidate well and effectively, it seems, within the 18 starting to rise. So further momentum today, if we can see it getting above the 12,222. I think would be a good catalyst to get this going again. But as stated, how are we going to react from this situation? Are we going to go sideways? That's what we've been doing a lot here. There was a sideways move in May that ended for pretty much all of May into June. And then this big one in April. So the April sideways move, maybe we're going to have it. Well, I've got some predictions, and that's going to come at the end of the video. So going sideways isn't much of the prediction. Let's go to Litecoin. And when it comes down to it, it's going to be one of those either ors. And it's a big one. It's a big either or. Either reversal or trend or a major breakout, failed move, fast move. You can't see it too well. Maybe you can upon the daily term, but we have had to manage a level to go below this 18. I mean, it did here as well, and then it just went up after. But let's take a look at why on the 4-hour term time frame. This Fibonacci line is just luck that it happened to find support in this, and I keep saying that, but it's not uncommon actually in reality for these Fibonacci lines to work effectively more times than not, like it seems like it's doing here. So as this market was in a sideways consolidation pattern from about June 11th, June 12th, completing on June 27th, so a 2 week period ranging between 143 to this Fibonacci line, but mainly between 130 in the 130s, 133, 135, 130 to 140 was the main part of this range. And then it broke down below it. So either in a reversal of trend, you do the commonalities. Okay, I don't know if that's a word, but do the common things, as in first, one of the ways you can do it is you have a decent leg lower. Check mark. And then you come back and you have a lower high resistance, usually at the key area of previous support, which is where we're at now. And then, of course, it goes lower after that. So you find your resistance there. You're going to find your weakness at your lower area in here, probably, and then have another leg lower. That's typical bear market reversal. But I like to draw these little boxes sometimes, and I'm going to do it again. Just like this. What I'm looking for on the failed move. Number one, it has to break a key level of support. And yeah, most certainly it's a key level. Number two, it has a good low, okay, which it does, and it's usually doesn't have to, but it's spent some time in there. But it doesn't matter if it can get back quickly, uh, slow or a normal speed. But has to get back to this key level. And then in a failed move situation, it's even rare to even come back and find a higher low in here, although it can happen. But you usually push up higher into the previous congestion area, which I would rank supporting, of course, in this area, but more towards the area of 129 to 136 to 138 area. So high, anything over 130 and the high 120s, 120, we'll just say over 130. So if it goes and stays in there and you see it move in there, and it can hold and stay above, thus not be further lower high resistance. If you can see it hold and stay in there, that's giving you more and more optimal clues that this thing is a failed breakdown. In a fast move, I would consider a decent sized leg higher than this, and I go by the bigger the failed move, the faster or the bigger the failed move, the bigger the fast move after that. This is a B rated failed move size. It could be bigger, but it wouldn't be a surprise if that's the case that we just have a very large explosion. As we're 35 days away from the halvening. Yeah, the halvening. That sounds like a Stephen King title. The halvening. Well, it's 35 days away. And that would be probably approximately as 36 days, 21 hours, 16 minutes, and 9 seconds. Is this estimated time? It's got to be estimated. It's on a block number, I would presume. But they say these markets, and they have historically gone up before the halvening. And maybe it's already what it's done. Maybe it's going to go up further. On the single-hour term time frame, this market broke out at 6 o'clock in the morning. So far, within the last 3 hours, is holding and consolidating at that Fibonacci line very, very well. Let's cross this over against Litecoin and against Bitcoin for, of course, what is Litecoin. And we'll start off within its 1 hour. And amongst it, it is at an interesting double bottom situation. A double bottom or double top, yeah, double bottom is two U's or two V's. However you want to look at it. Two cups, a pair of, and a set of, and you can just insert what set you're thinking of. But you have one and you have two. That's your double bottom. It's got to get above the neckline. And, well, the neckline is in at the 1081, 1082 handle. But it means that in that situation, what do we have? Well, we were in a bear market, obviously, on this run, and a pretty large one. as we're going to be taking a look at on the daily term in a moment, but not now. But on the last leg lower, it has one of its rally. I mean, it's about F in time, you might say, to even get an attempt to get above this 18. And then it comes back down and doesn't support where I'd want it to. A little bit deeper, but it does hold the key area, which is what you're looking for the double bottom. If it was to make a higher low, then it wouldn't be a double bottom. It would be like a cup and handle formation instead, thus on the higher low. But for you to be able to have a situation in a downtrend, to retest the previous level after a very good move, and then not lower high the situation and at least make a matching high and then consolidate amongst the matching high, which is what it's been doing over the last few hours, that's a strong setup. So it looks as if it's ready now, possibly to break it. Getting above 109 and change should have this enough fuel. It's just starting the fuel that it has, so it should have enough fuel to. Who knows how far it can go from that point there. As it goes, as far as its holding area, I it really should need to hold this the 10 handle and not go below it, even for that matter a bit higher, like 102. But I'm going to be looking for this to break out, and whatever the market does, short term it does. If this breaks out, I'm going to be selling a bit of Litecoin. And if it breaks down below these levels, I'm most likely going to be buying it. As far as trades, I've already sold it this morning in one ratio trade against DGB. I'm waiting to sell it against some GRS. And at 1068, it's 1%. It's getting closer, but I'd like to see the price action tell me what kind of best prices that I can get amongst the short term movements. And I'm gonna be talking about predictions, but when we're talking about looking at the 1 hour and 15. It's always up to me. It's always up to the charts. Hey, you know what? On the 15th, things have a lot of great potential as its attempt right now after such a great move from 4:30 up to 7:45 to resume that move and bring the uptrend. We'll keep it going on forward. So as far as predictions are concerned, as let me just take a look at this daily. This has been down, but it's been up and it's been down, and that's what it does. We'll see if it's ready for an extended up run. Maybe, maybe not. But and here you can say, oh, maybe it's ready for an extended up run. Well, yeah, maybe a week later. Maybe that happens again. Maybe you have a little bit of rally. But as far as where I think we're going into July and August, as far as Bitcoin in July, I would not be surprised if. I mean, I think the best way for me to stay. I'm not gonna. I don't want to talk about prices too much in Bitcoin, although I don't think they're going to be really too negative. I think we'll come down and hit a low of 9,300. And when I say I think that, that's somebody else that thinks that. But we'll probably have some really good up movements. And I'm even going to say, from what somebody else said, that 9,300 would happen in the morning, like 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time, on one of those days. But that would be the bottom. We're going to most likely have very good volatility amongst Bitcoin with a lot of up and down choppy moves. Whether we'll get to 20,000 or not, I'm going to say possibly, but I really don't think there's going to be much more for extended gains within that month. As far as Litecoin is concerned, I do think it's going to have a phenomenal month, and I think a lot of altcoins are going to have a phenomenal month because I think the dartboard rally is starting. And I call a dartboard rally when practically every single altcoin has very phenomenally sweet, good moves against Bitcoin for extended period of time. I'm basically saying July, maybe into August. And then in August, we're going to have a decline amongst most of the cryptocurrencies, a down month. That hopefully, obviously, I'm hoping that whatever I want to have happen that's good happens, but I would think that as we head into September, October, we will just finish the month off with what will probably be a pretty uh, decent up run, especially amongst gold. Uh, expect gold to really go haywire. Break its level of resistance this year. Silver, it'll maybe go up, but I'd be surprised if even. I think the gold to silver ratio is going to keep going higher for the next few months. And again, this is what I based on what other people are saying, it makes sense. And then moving into 2020, that'll be an interesting year. But for now, if that's correct, and it would be a very fortunate thing for me to have the altcoin rally. The Bitcoin dominance is probably the best way to show this, and I still got altcoins I want to show. 15 minutes, yeah, I got lots of time. As this chart has been really kicking ass big time. As it's gotten above this level of resistance, but what comes up must come down. And I think that we are going to have a down month. But we'll see what happens. However, in a situation where, and I'm going to see this, I'm just going to see what we can get back for 2017, if they even have it in here. How much it's going to rhyme with 2017, I think that's what's really going to come down to. But here's a situation in here where, well, Bitcoin dominance, again, those little lines in here. But this was that great altcoin rally. And you notice how it breaks above this level of resistance like this. Money goes into Bitcoin first. Tangibly, this makes sense. Because how do you buy Litecoin and all the other coins? Yeah, I suppose like in Coinbase, you can buy it directly against the dollar. And Litecoin is one of the more common ones, as well as Ethereum. That would be done that way. But how many people literally buy Tron against $1? And I don't mean the Tether or any other USDCs or any of those other crypto coins. But how many are actually bought with real fiat dollars? We're talking the Neos and the Stellar Lumens and all of these other ones. They're bought mainly with Bitcoin. And yeah, with Tether and all that, but a lot of it is going to be that with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been purchased, and then people send their Bitcoin to Binance and to Poloniex and to Bittrex and Huobi and wherever else it might be where they can exchange those coins for altcoins. And then so it goes. Okay, now let's move on to a few quick altcoins, one of the lower end ones, or the lower end ones. The ones that I like though, because I trade them. And if I trade them, well, that means I mean I don't know. Oh, this is definitely going to be good. I know for sure. There's shit coins out there. Some of them can ease. In fact, don't be surprised if a lot of them don't participate too well within the failure ones. Be interested to see which ones don't participate as well during the session. But a lot of the top 50, top 100 coins, a good portion of them I think will do well. I don't even know if this is a top 100 coin. I don't think it would be. Either way, it's like a minimum holding for me. Within the single hour term time frame, it had a move up to this previous level of resistance. Accidentally clicking on an ad. I don't want 20. Okay, if it sounds 20% a month is probably a scam, but whatever. So you come up to this previous level of resistance. Now must hold areas in here. It's already had a little bit of a correctionary move. Can we see anything 15 or 5 minute time frame that might tell us? Well, after this correction down in here, if this thing can if this thing gets above 400, 404, 405, 407, even 407, then I need the 4 hour for this. It maybe even a bit higher than that, but its next level of resistance is 461. It's all whatever. I want to look at Sky and GoCoin though mainly. They're the ones having good days. Komodo 8.8%. GoChain. Interesting setup on the 4 hour here. When you include this resistance period on this one here, supporting it here, ascending triangle, major resistance established here, which coincides with this level of resistance, breaking out. I'd be looking for the next key level, which would be basically about 232 to about 250. And the Skycoin has an interesting setup as well, and a lot of them probably do. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if in July we have a very good altcoin rally. But I mean, this is this is just typically amazing, nice setup. I don't. I mean, I should just say a picture paints 1,000 words. If you can't see it, I haven't. You're new to the channel. You're unable to learn what I've been trying to teach. But wow, this has got a nice little setup. If we expand this, what's going on to the one? There's some. I mean, this is just wow. This level of resistance. How perfectly it runs in this range. Now it's broken out. Are we going to come back to where we came from? It's getting closer. Regardless of the fact it's having this correction right now, that whenever it bottoms, then it's well, it's either a failed breakout or a reversal of trend, and we'll see what happens. Again, I'm expecting these markets to do well. What you do is up to you. And if all these predictions happen to come true, and you see stuff like a major banking system crisis, especially on the European side of the frontier in July, Deutsche Bank related, that's pretty scary stuff. Because take this information with a grain of salt, or 7.2 grains. If it's 7 times 2 better than something you would normally take with a grain of salt. And a grain. How much? How many grains are in a gram? I'll find out. Well, 15.4324. And at 7.2, that would represent very close to a half a gram. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye bye.